All right, now that you've had a little bit of time to explore the demo, I'd like to give you a little bit more of an insight into what's going on. So what we're working with today is light. And what light is a disturbance in the electromagnetic field of the universe. It's an electromagnetic wave. So what that means is it's an electric wave and a magnetic wave moving together. So if we were to draw this wave, which is a great way of understanding it, then we would draw it as the electric field as a function of time. So as what the electric field does as it moves through time. And what it would look like is it would look like this. It would look like a cosine or a sine, just some sinusoid wave. And if we look at this picture, then we can see a little bit of what's going on. If we take it step by step, we have this electric field that starts off in this graph, starting at 0, and then we'll have the wave, the electric field, increase to a maximum point, and then maybe decrease to 0, and then continue to decrease to a minimum, and then go along like this and oscillate like that as a function of time. So that's what the electric field is doing. And what the magnetic field is doing is it's oscillating like this, but in a direction 90 degrees or perpendicular to the electric field. So if the electric field is in this direction, then the magnetic field will be going in and out of the board like this. And then there's a great way of distinguishing waves or characterizing a wave by its electric field and what direction that electric field is, what plane the electric field is in. If it's in this plane, or this plane, or this plane. And that is what we refer to as polarization. So again, the plane of the electric field is its polarization. And another way of describing a wave is what we refer to as its wavelength. So if we look at the wave not as a function of time, but as a function of position, so as what the electric field does as we move through space, then we can characterize the distance between like a crest or like, so like a maximum or minimum by its wavelength. So the distance between those maximums or minimums or two equal spots in between is a wavelength. And we see light, and we describe light by wavelength when we refer to like radio waves or the visible spectrum or microwaves or infrared waves. They're all described by their wavelength in that sense. So now, the light in the room and the light that's coming out of the demonstration is what we refer to as white light. And what white light is it's light that has all the different colors in it, all the different wavelengths within it. So then, and what's also interesting about the light coming out of the lights in the demo is it's unpolarized. That means the light is polarized in all directions. So we have a light being polarized in this direction, this direction, this direction, this direction, but it's polarized in all directions. So what we have is the light, unpolarized white light coming through, and it's hitting that film. And what that film is called a linear polarizer. What a linear polarizer does is it isolates one polarization of light. So if you have light in all directions, it'll isolate just one, maybe this one, or this one, or this one, but just one polarization of light. And then, after the light is polarized, as we call it, then what comes through the corn syrup. And the corn syrup is really interesting because what it does is it twists or rotates light differently based on its wavelength. So if we have some fixed distance of corn syrup, then it'll twist the different wavelengths differently. So if we have polarized light coming through, and we refer to unpolarized light with all different colors, then we have maybe the red and the green and maybe the blue wavelengths. So if we have the light coming through like this, then as it travels through, it'll twist the red light and the green light and the blue light differently. So it'll rotate the light dependent on its wavelength. So then as we exit the corn syrup, it'll be twisted. So we have red, green, blue with different polarizations. Then what we do is we get another linear polarizer, like the film that we have in the Petri dish. And what that does is it'll isolate one more polarization of light, in this case, a different color. So if we polarize it so that we're getting this polarization, we'll get just red, or this one just green, or this one just blue. So that's how we get those pure colors, or those very discrete wavelengths of light. And that's really cool. So now what I'd like you to do is go back to the demonstrations and then see what else you can learn, and go look at different angles, maybe rotate the light, and look at all the different configurations and see what sorts of interesting things that you can develop with this new knowledge.